Now, after years and years of this same exact phone with a different number, I can finally say that the iPhone 15 is a really good upgrade. Now, the reason I say that the iPhone 15 is a really good upgrade is because over the years, when it comes to the base model iPhones, Apple was getting extremely stale when it came to improvements. And I kid you not, the iPhone 11, 12, 13, and 14 all felt like the exact same phone. There was no innovation whatsoever, and it was basically nothing but new colors. But with the iPhone 15, there are some suitable upgrades that I really like. It has a matte coated feel on the back, it supports USB-C, it has a new 48 megapixel camera, and now it looks completely different on the front thanks to Dynamic Island. And even though the iPhone 15 looks like a really good upgrade based on my first impression, I still want to go more in depth with what I like and dislike about this phone. Now, the first thing that I noticed when I was unboxing the iPhone 15 was that just like every other iPhone's previous versions, you have that very clean white aesthetic that makes the experience feel similar to other models. On the front, we can see a picture of the iPhone that basically shows which color version you have, along with a nice wallpaper. On the right and left side of the box, there's the iPhone wording, and on the top and bottom, we have the Apple logos. And also on the back, we have additional info about your purchase. Now, the first thing that we see when we take the top off of the box is the iPhone 15 itself, and I will say that it has that same regular size to it, along with a pretty nice feel. On the back, we have the much better looking and feeling color infused glass back with the matte coating, which feels just like the Pro series of iPhones, and we also have the glossy Apple logo with the matte feeling sides. Also, we have the same style camera bumps that look pretty much the same. You have the main and ultra wide camera that I will be showing more pictures of later in this video. Now, on the right side of the phone, we have the power button along with a 5G antenna. On the left side, we have the volume rockers and mute switch. And last but not least, on the bottom, we have the brand new USB-C port, mics, and speakers. And on the front, we can see the 6.1-inch display that now has the Dynamic Island cutout on the front. And again, this compared to the iPhone 14 feels like an actual upgrade. But as far as resolution, colors, and durability, it feels exactly the same. Ceramic shield front with Super Retina XDR and an OLED panel. Now, the last thing is that we have in the box of the iPhone 15 is our starter guide booklet, stickers, and a nicely braided cable with USB-C on both ends. Now, the iPhone 15 has 5 different colors in its catalog, starting with the colorful green, pink, yellow, and blue. And for the more uniform colors, there's only black. And the version that I have is pink, and as you can see, it looks really good. The colorful aspect along with the color coordinated rails give it a good amount of depth, and I really admired that the material felt continuous all around the phone. Even when we look at it in the sun, we can see that it looks very vibrant while also giving off a nice clean look that I think many people will like. I again loved how it had the matte sides that were the exact same color and continued that clean colorful aesthetic of the phone. Putting it side by side with my 15 Pro, you can tell that Apple wanted it to look as premium as the more upscale phones, and I think that they did a really great job. Also, the matte covered material will result in much less fingerprints, so if you rock your phone without a case and you want to show off the color of your new phone, you won't have to worry about unwanted smudges. Now, the iPhone 15 has a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display that I will say was really great based off of my first impression. It was very bright and vibrant, the quality is amazing, and the Dynamic Island really helps with this new factor. And I again really like the fact that the size was perfect, but it still had the smaller bezels to give it a slightly better visual experience. It wasn't too big and it wasn't too small, so I really liked how it felt. The display was very responsive out the gate. Everything that I clicked on and moved responded very quickly. And I would say that overall, it pretty much has the same feel as the iPhone 14, which is a really good thing. Now, the iPhone 15 also has iOS 17, and so far is very smooth. I like the ability to share context by just putting the top of your phone together. The standby feature looks great, but I don't really see myself using it too much. And the contact card editor felt very immersive. Now, when it comes to build quality on the iPhone 15, I would say that when compared to other phones at this price range, it was one of the more quality builds. Again, I really like the matte feel, which helped with its premiumness. But like I said before, the back is glass. But if you're like me and don't really trust it, you can just use a case. But besides that, the 15 has a ceramic shield screen and the back has a glass back, which means that in most cases, if you do drop it a few times, then it most likely won't break. But there's always a risk, especially since the scratch resistance on iPhones is pretty terrible. Now, when it comes to physicality, the iPhone 15 has a height of 5.81 inches, a width of 2.82 inches, and weighs about 171 grams, and it feels pretty light to me. You can see how well it fits into my hands. It fits perfect even if you have big hands like me, and even if your hands are smaller, it's much more manageable and won't really give you any discomfort. Even when you put it in your pockets, it'll be like the average phone, and if I'm being honest, this is the size that I think most people will gravitate towards. Now, the iPhone 15 has a 48 megapixel main camera, just like the iPhone 15 Pro, along with a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and I will say that just like every year, the The base model iPhone and Pixel are neck and neck when it comes to camera. And when we look at the daytime outside photos, we can see that it looks as amazing as the previous versions, very sharp, and overall gave off a natural effect. The selfie camera was very accurate to my skin tone, the colors were very sharp and punchy, and I had no complaints since it had the right amount of sharpness. And now when we look at the daytime inside photos, there were so many examples of good pictures that I took, and everything that I said about the outside photos can be said about the inside photos as well. And I also wanted to give you guys an example of how the phone records video before I give my final thoughts about it in my full review. And now when we look at additional specs on the iPhone 15, it has an A16 Bionic chip. It has storage starting from 128 gigs that goes all the way up to 512 gigs. It has a 3300 milliamp hour battery that I will be testing out in my full review. And it has an IP68 dust and water resistance rating. And there it is, you guys, my review on the iPhone 15. And I'm really glad that Apple made the base model iPhone a good upgrade, and I will be dropping my full review within a week, so don't forget to subscribe. And again, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Peace.